All right, so much done and dusted in the world of sport over the weekend, home and away from home. Teams looking for a ticket to qualify for the World Cup in Europe and the continent of Africa. Games went down on Friday night, Saturday, and on Sunday. And of course, there'll be more games Monday, Tuesday, and then players will be back to club assignments. We're here to discuss that, not just that, also the US Open. We're done with the last Grand Slam for the year 2025. And we know that for the women, it's all about world number one. For the men, it is all about world number two. 𝐒𝐈𝐒 won the game against Amanda Anisimova in 2 straight sets, and for Carlos Alcaraz, won against Jannik Sinner in 3 sets to 1. Formula One also got involved in the world of sport over the weekend. These and more we share with you. Welcome to Scoreboard Reloaded on 94.9 32 FM. I am Peter Omo. I've got alongside SAMIES and Dolakwa will join us in a few minutes from now as we will discuss all happening in the world of sport. And on the continent of Africa, one game is going on. Even though you want to say Morocco have got a place in the World Cup for 2026, they're saying, you know what, we don't let the lose our guard. We want to go on and win more games as we speak right now. In Zambia, the lead against Zambia by 2-0, while Mozambique are up against Botswana. They lead by 1-0, as good as Equatorial Guinea and the Catholic Eagles of Tunisia. All right, we'll also keep you up to date with all of those games happening. And of course, those still to come later today on the continent and away from the continent. The MPFL also, there were games. Match day 3 of the MPFL went down this weekend across 9 venues, 10 venues now. I saw one game put on hold yesterday, so maybe that game finally went on. But it was about winners and losers. And for Remo Stars, who are champions of the MPFL for 24-25, they're not losing their guard. As we speak right now, if you check the table, they sit top. And for others, is the usual catch me if you can again from them. For Shooting Stars in Ibadan, yet to get maximum points home and away from home. SAMIES was on ground to watch the game yesterday between Shooting Stars and Ikorodu City. It ended 1-1. And I'm so shocked that, nobody's talking about the results, but rather they're talking about what happened before, maybe after. Now, I don't say during. Before and after the game is what has got some of my colleagues talking. SAMIES was also part of those who were at the stadium to watch the match. SAMIES first, it's good to have you join me on the show. Let's discuss about the game and some other things away from the game. It ended 1-1. Shooting Stars looking for their first win away from home and back at home. It was a game I expected after 2 games. They should just find out and get the win. They scored early in the game, but they allowed their opponent to equalize. Ended 1-1. SAMIES, tell us more about the game between Shooting Stars and Ikorodu City.
Good afternoon, Peter. Good afternoon to all who has joined us on today's edition of the show. As regards the game that went on there at the Lagos Salami Sports Stadium yesterday, 1-1 intended between the Oluyole Warriors and Ikorodu City, whom of course are playing in their second ever season of the top flight of Nigerian football. And then you say that for Shooting Stars, they started the game on a brighter note, on a fast start, and they got the goal in the first 20 minutes of that encounter. But what happened in the last few minutes of the first half? Yes, they considered an equalizer, which definitely decided the course of the game. 1-1, it which it ended. The performance-wise, well, would you say that was the best from Shooting Stars in their second home game? No, it is not the best performance. Did you see the actor from the head coach, Nuruddin Aweroro, and also the technical crew? Yes, they were giving their beats, but the players, did they carry all of those actions out so well? When we talk about the Nigeria Premier Football League game, so not the best for them. On the other hand, for Ikorodu City, I think they did their homework well. Yes, we're going into the game, they've not conceded, and neither have they scored a goal. But yesterday, they conceded and also scored a goal. And for Shooting Stars, I would say it's not the best for them because in 3 appearances now against the Oga Boys, they are yet to get a victory over the Oga Boys. And yesterday, while at the stadium, I was joking with a colleague of mine, discussing about Shooting Stars, that we were victorious over them. That's in the preseason. They're in Ikene. And then he said, oh, leave preseason. Preseason is not part of it. They didn't we defeat Remo Stars in preseason. The season opener comes, the season proper comes, and we are unable to get that reading against all of these sides. And I also spoke with another person and said, this is the time Ikorodu City maybe does their bonanza, where they still try to get their grit, which on a normal day, it is something that is expected because I know some of their players left, their manager left, and the technical crew, and then you expect that this side they are going through another change as well. So we were unable to get a victory, and that definitely is not the best. And in our next game, which is against Rivers United away from home, can we get a victory before we come back home to play against the Kun Caliphate? But on the other hand, aside from the action on the field of play, now it also talks about the media being sidelined. I would say sidelined. Don't let me use the word sideline now. Because for me going to the stadium, what am I going there to do? I'm going there to watch and also report the game. In my course of reportage, yes, I know that I can jot a few things down from the on-field action. But what happens to me getting first-hand information from the coach and also maybe a few players who are prosecuted the game? For the press conference, that's the post-match interview. Before all of that, the door was not opened yet to over 15 journalists who were on ground to ask questions from Nuruddin Awerero, the head coach of Shooting Stars, the head coach of Ikorodu City, and a few players. The gate was not opened. And then the excuse was that the media zone and the press conference room is too small to contain journalists. On a normal day, that's a thing of choice. And it's not every journalist who is going to ask the question. Not every journalist will ask the question. But we look at it and say, that's not the best excuse for us. As regards the accreditation as well, I think that's where the writing has been on the wall. You have accreditation for media pass. You have accreditation for press conference. Am I just there to watch the game of football? If I'm there to watch the game of football, I can as well pay to be a fan, pay for the ticket money, and then enjoy the game as a fan.
Let me pause you there. When you say the press conference, so the question would be, how big is the press conference? You don't want to go in there and suffocate yourself. You don't want to go in there and cause a little bit of stampede. Even though I know that that can be avoided, but when they say this press conference, this room cannot contain more than 10-15, what do you guys need to do?
For the past 2-3 seasons, Shooting Stars back in the top flight of Nigerian football, we've been doing the interview in that same room. And like I said, it's a thing of choice. How
many can that room contain from your look of things?
From the look of things, properly arranged, you can contain 30. Properly arranged. Okay. You've been there. You've been there.
I've been
you know
there.
What it looks like.
No, let me put it this way. I've been there, but not to conduct interview. Was when the stadium was is renovated now.
Yes.
That they took a few journalists across to check. That was when I went there. And I also went there during the police game, when Muyiwa Adejobi was in town to have a press conference for the police game. I was also there, and were sizable in numbers, and so we had the press conference. But in terms of the MPFL for Shooting Stars, hey, I've not been there. That's why I'm asking the question. For you that were there, if you said 15 of you were put outside, not allowed to come in to have to be.
Those who even had the press conference tag, the gate was not opened 30 minutes after the game.
So where do you put the blame now?
30 minutes
of this shot. Where do you put the blame?
We have the media lead of the team, of that's Shooting Stars. Right, it's just lack of diligence. I see that to be lack of diligence from him. Right after the game, in fact, before the end of the game, last season, 2 seasons ago, when we get to the added time, the gate is always opened for media to go assemble themselves in the media zone, in the press conference. But
some were allowed to get into that zone.
Yesterday?
Yes.
No, it was not opened. It was not opened for those who sat at the media tribune. There were some who had access to the pitch side. The pitch side. Some had access to the pitch side.
Those who have access to the pitch side, are they photographers, are they cameramen?
Photographers, part of them. No issues about that. They are doing their job. But then there is a fan TV, 3SC fan TV.
Okay.
You look at the list of accredited journalists for this event, for the game. Their name or their brand wasn't accredited.
You know, when you say 3SC, it's the club media.
Fan TV. That's the clause. not Shooting Stars
TV.
media team.
So it's Shooting Stars
3SC
Fan
Fan
TV. So
TV.
what you're saying to me now and to people out there that it is a private hand,
Private arm, yes.
not a state-owned,
Not
like the club is
state-owned.
state-owned.
Yes.
So they were able to find
Because
their
if
way.
we are saying 3SC Fan TV is part of the Shooting Stars,
Yeah.
then there was the appointment of the chairman, the coach, the coach then, or the chairman then, so, I need some other things. Media lead. Where did the media lead?
So all of this took the headline away from the result of the game.
It took the headline away from journalists, from fellow journalists.
You are the guys that will report what we
Yes.
will come and talk. So when
We
I
were
begin to
addressed
see,
by Bumi, the
Yes.
COO, not
Okay.
the COO now.
The COO.
COO,
the chief operating officer.
officer. He said those words, and
What were the words? What were the words?
we should calm down. That the same excuse that the room is small, and we're letting him know that this thing has been like this for years. It's a thing of choice. See, after the game, some didn't stay. On a normal day, some didn't stay because it was already getting late. Some didn't stay. We don't know the distance in which they came from. It was getting late. They left. But those who actually loved it, I want to get a reaction from this so I can report it on my platform. You denied some the opportunity to by not giving them the press conference tag. And then for those who had the press conference tag, you still denied them the opportunity of waiting extra 30 minutes after the game.
Hold on. For a few of us who have covered international games, I have my tag 24 hours before game.
Yes.
So that gives me access to where access allows.
Yes.
Because at some places, even if you have a media tag, access will not allow
you. Yes.
But for press conferences, for interviews, for mixed zone, after games, you have access. So are they accreditation or tags for the game and that for the press conference?
So in your course of accreditation, wanting to get accredited to the home game,
Yeah.
it doesn't bring the question of press conference, pitch side, media tribune.
Okay.
It doesn't bring any of those questions.
Yeah.
In their own rankings, in their own bookings, they just select.
So they just decide.
They decide whoever they want to be in their zone.
You guys covered the game, but you could not have access
we
to
did not
press.
cover the game. Now, that's now a different thing.
What did you?
We watched the game. We watched. As a fan would come to the stadium.
So you were
to
not
watch.
You didn't sit on the usual media gallery.
I was seated at the media gallery.
Okay, so that means
Watch
you
the
covered and also reported.
That's what I'm doing presently, but not about the game. I'm reporting on the other thing that happened after the game.
Let's not waste so much time. We've spent close to half of the minute. We've got on the show talking about this, but I'm hoping that the Shooting Stars, the media will do something fast about this. The team can be dropping points at home and you're not helping the media. If they were getting results, I will not be asking someone of this. I would just say bottom line is they got a result, fix this. But you're not getting a result, you also need to fix the media. It's important and it's key for those in charge of Shooting Stars, the media arm of that. And the good thing is that we're getting to have the accreditation, something that is not there before now. And when you have it done, all this should help put in place in terms of numbers, those who should get onto the pitch, those who should have the press conference, all of this. If you have that, while all these old wahala around them, let's see. Hello, good afternoon. Okay, so let's take that out. Dalakwa, it's a pleasure having you. It's good to know you're here, even though it's raining in some parts of Ibadan, but you were still able to pull through to the studio to talk. Dalakwa, let's talk US Open. Let's talk some tennis this afternoon. I remember I was saying whoever wins between Osaka and Amanda will go ahead to win, but never happened. But I'm happy that the other one happened because I watched the game between Novak, also followed the one between the final against Yannick, and finally he dropped the set, but it was like losing the battle and winning the war, and he ended up winning the third and the fourth set for him to win the US Open for this year. How do you describe let me start with the Spaniard, Carlos Alcaraz, who had a brilliant US Open, And when probably someone would have felt the man that might likely stop him is Yannick Sinner, but look at the way he took out the Italian. On those three occasions when he won, he was beating him, except for the fourth set when he won 6-4.
Yeah.
Others were 6-2, 6-1, thereabouts.
I think he has been brilliant all year, throughout the year. Both Yannick Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz, both of them have been dominating.
Both of them won
Carlos,
2 Grand Slams.
Yes, they
Again,
did last year. They won 2 last year in 2024. In 2025, they both won 2 as well. But it's looking like Yannick Sinner can defeat everybody, but he's finding it very hard to beat Carlos Alcaraz. And Carlos Alcaraz has been very, very good. I was talking to someone after the game yesterday, and he was telling me how good this guy was. The commentator of the game was even talking about he's just like having Roger Federer, Rafa Nadal, and Novak Djokovic in only his body, because he defends so well, attacks so well, and played the game very well. And with the way he's going, he was talking about he being maybe at his prime yesterday, and he's still just 22. He has won 6 Grand Slam. And with the way
how old is Yannick Sinner?
Yannick Sinner is still young as well. He's 21. 22.
How many Grand Slam is Yannick Sinner?
He has won 4.
Yannick Sinner?
Australian Open twice 4. No, I think he has won 5. I'm not very sure. I think he has won 2 last year, 2 this year, 2 last year, 2 this year. Is it 4 or 5? I'm not very sure. But I think he has won 5.
Yannick Sinner. I don't want to say anything because I want you to be sure before I go ahead and tell you how many Grand Slam he has. When he's 24, not even 31, 22. He's older than Carlos Alcaraz.
He's way older than Carlos Alcaraz.
4 Grand Slams.
He has won 4 Grand Slam.
Yeah, 2 last year, 2 this year. So Carlos Alcaraz is looking like the man who is just going to. Both of them, I won't put it on only him, but he's looking like the only one who can stop Yannick Sinner, because I looked at Yannick Sinner facing every other person this year across his last 130-something game. He has lost 4 games to other people, and he has lost 6 times to Carlos Alcaraz. So Carlos Alcaraz knows very well how to defeat him, and it's looking like these guys will just be the one to rule the world. Now Carlos Alcaraz is back as the world number 1. He's not cast in stone. He would finish the year that way, because they are still like WTA's competition still going on this year, like 2 or 4 of it. But with the way things are, if it continues like this, it will be very hard for anybody to catch these 2.
So who is world number 1 as we speak?
Carlos Alcaraz is what
we'll find out when the ATP draws comes up. SAMIES, 2 is what we're talking about. Back then, the last 15, 20 years, it was 2, it became 3, it became 4. Andy, Novak, Roger, and Nadal. But now, who do you think might be the third in the mix?
Well, you look at the action, all of these guys are also pulling. I wouldn't see the Canadian also, maybe he can.
Felix Auger?
Yeah.
It doesn't look like
Rublev as well.
Rublev doesn't.
So,
because
Ben
I've also been thinking about
Ben Shelton, all those names. See, it strikes about what I do see that I've seen in tennis in recent years.
Because I would still be putting Novak in that third person.
Yes.
The consistency stride in all of them, both the men and the women. I have not seen.
Maybe you can pardon the women.
But will I pardon the women?
Yeah. Because Sabalenka,
see now, for me,
you put one of the American girls.
For me, I look at what Osaka has done now at this end of the year.
Yeah.
I want to see how she's going to perform next year. Because
no,
this is another marker for her. I want to see how she's going to perform next year. Amanda, I want to see how she will perform next year. Last year it was Jasmine Paolini. Where is she this year?
I also thought about Jasmine Paolini.
Where is she this year?
That maybe she might just be the one to push these other 2 girls. I remember a point it was Iga that was ruling.
Yes,
and Sabalenka came and because Sabalenka has been in
consistent. It. The ladies have not been consistent.
But in the men's game now, so it also talks about the consistency in the women's in the men's game. Yannick and Callistos. Last year, this year.
And Novak
this year,
he keeps on getting to the semis.
He didn't win anything. I'm talking about.
But it's because of these guys.
But you look at the last 3 years. If you take away these 2 guys.
Yes. You look at the last 3 years. Okay, who has given all of them a run? It's always Novak in the semi-finals, finals, and then you just say in all of these games, Carlos Alcaraz has found himself in the semi-finals or the finals of all these games. Yannick Sinner, semi-finals, finals. Novak, semi-final, finals, which also backs your claim of always putting Novak in that third man column of these 2 Gen Z guys. That's Callistos and Yannick Sinner. But overall, it's a good one for both players. And after the match, Carlos Alcaraz says he sees Yannick Sinner more like a family now. And I think that's the bond sports actually brings about, because it's actually an healthy competition between these two. You win, I win, you win, I win,
it reminds
you win,
me of,
I win.
After they both retired, Roger and Nadal became friends.
Yeah.
Nadal got an academy, Roger pops in and all that. Let's talk another thing that happened on the weekend. I'll come to you. It was Formula One, it was Max Verstappen, it was Monza, it was him winning when I thought that Piastri or Lando Norris would dominate, but it was evidence during the practice session that Max Verstappen looks like they want to win, and of course he went on to win.
Yeah, it was very fast during the day, and I wasn't expecting that, because when you look at the first three practices, it was looking like the Ferrari drivers, Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton, wants to do something, or they have something to do. Yeah, Charles Leclerc finished fourth, but it looks like Max Verstappen had his fast car. Maybe he might not have won if not for the silly decision the McLaren engineers made, telling Piastri to change with Lando Norris to move second, and they keep on trying to say the same thing happened in Hungary, which for me I feel like it is different. They should have allowed Oscar Piastri go on, because I even saw Max Verstappen saying just because he had a slow pit and they told Lando Norris to come in. Maybe if Oscar Piastri had stayed second, he might have overtaken Max Verstappen, because they have a faster car. Verstappen is fast, but the McLaren car looks very fast. And if they had not changed with Oscar Piastri, he might have just gone on like that. But then, just like the two drivers said, it is what the hierarchy felt like would be good for them. And then it's been a silly decision at the end of the day. They still have to stay with P2 and P3. And now Verstappen can believe. He can just feel like he might just have something to do in the next couple of races. Although it's looking like the McLaren drivers are just going to go all the way. But with the way things are, if he can get 12 points in the next few races, keep on getting 12 points per race, he might just get past Oscar Piastri, which I don't see like something that would happen, because I feel Oscar Piastri would just still go on and still win this year championship.
To think that McLaren are 1 and 2 in that order so far, and the next will be in Banju, Azerbaijan. All right, in a few weeks from now. Let's wrap up the show for the next few minutes and discuss some news, football away from home, and of course still keep tabs with some of the World Cup qualifiers going on the continent, where we mentioned earlier that Morocco, in spite of getting their place for the next World Cup, they are on against Morocco, and they lead in that game by 2-0. They had 8 minutes in that one. They're almost done and dusted. Tunisia lead against Equatorial Guinea by 0-0, and it's 2-0 between Mozambique and Botswana. Guinea play against Algeria by 5-5. Also Guinea-Bissau will be up against Djibouti 5. Madagascar against Chad 5. Malawi against Liberia 5. Uganda against Somalia 8. Ghana will play against Mali. It's a tough one for the Ghanaians who couldn't get a win in the last game. This time they'll be looking for maximum point. They do. Then they'll also be saying maybe they've got a say in the World Cup. Libya against Swatini. That's former Swaziland. Samis, you saying something?
Yeah, I was about to just chip in the Ghanaian game. They get a victory against their Southwestern Derby. They would actually be at the World Cup to make it the second African side. Also tomorrow, maybe we just discuss about that tomorrow.
Yeah, I saw the was just nod his head.
I mean, not even talking about Nigeria now. It's just Egypt.
Ghana will be playing the World Cup.
Just Egypt.
Okay.
Okay.
You said go play for AFCON now, Abi.
Yeah. You go battle, go the battle, then they go war. You the fight battle, then go fight war. Okay, so the Lakpo Onana, who said on Saturday, is now look like exchanging documents, and he's going to move to Turkey to play for Trabzonspor, where Haaland will be getting double.
He's going to get the money since he will be playing at Manchester United. I was saying it's not good for him, because I feel like he should have just keep on staying. He should have stayed at Manchester United and keep on collecting his money.
He was
no
longer welcome.
But now, even if it's no longer welcome, you get the money. But now that you'll be going to Turkey, you'll play week in, week out, and then he'll get the money, double of the money he was getting at Manchester United. If he performs well, he might leave Trabzonspor and move to maybe another team in Europe.
He can even stay permanently.
Yeah, he might stay there. We saw Victor Osimhen do that. He finished and he stayed at Galatasaray. So he might just stay there. But I just hope United won't be making a mistake, because we don't really know how good their new goalkeeper is. He was good at Royal Antwerp the same way Andre Onana was good at Ajax, the same way Onana was good at Inter Milan. At the end of the day, they might need this experience going into the season.
Maybe we should be speaking about the numbers. They
have 4 goalkeepers.
No, the goalkeeper they're bringing in from Royal Antwerp to United. Maybe we we should be speaking about his numbers in the Belgian Pro League to find out.
He was playing well. He was their first choice goalkeeper there. But I'm not going to go with because you are good in the Belgian League, you'll be good in the Premier League. The pressure will be much. This season, United have to play in the Champions League.
Do we begin to talk about players who move from the Belgian League to the English Premier League and they
not
didn't do
to
badly?
United.
They didn't do badly.
Not to United. We can talk about players that has joined United and they were performing well, and they joined United and were performing badly. A lot. Yeah, I can mention 10. A lot of players. Many of them. So many of the players that have come. Only Bruno Fernandes in the past few years have joined United and performed well. Only Bruno.
Luke
Shaw, yeah.
A broken leg in his first season. That mad his career at Manchester United.
Lenny.
What has he done?
How many injuries has he suffered since he got to Manchester United?
Whose fault is injury?
No, he has not done anything really convincing to say that this guy has stepped up.
Mason Mount.
Yeah.
That should be an in-house joke. No.
I'm done. We're done. Our time is up. Just for you to just put some. You say one thing? Okay. Bayer Leverkusen just bringing up that on the system now. To me, they've appointed the former coach of Denmark, Højlund, as their new head coach after the sack of the Dutchman Erik ten Hag. So he's got a job. Saw how he handled Denmark during the Euros when they co-hosted with other 10 cities that year. That was in 2021 after COVID. That never came home for the English, but we'll wait to see what will come. But for the women, they brought it home twice. So they've got a new man, and his job is to ensure that the dressing room is good, because one of the things that ten Hag didn't enjoy was the dressing room. He did not enjoy it, and so wait to see how it will start for Kasper Højlund, who will take charge of Bayer Leverkusen from this weekend. Thank you so much, Olakpo. Thank you, SAMIES. Bigger thanks to you for taking time to be with us. We'll be back again on Tuesday morning, 7:40 for Scoreboard in 15. I am Peter Omo.